Well, tomorrow is the first day of school for Coachella Valley USD, but teachers say they're concerned about distance learning since they have still not been provided everything that they need. I spoke with the president of the Coachella Valley Teachers Association, Carissa Carrera. Carissa, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Let me start by asking, are teachers ready for the first day of school?
Well, it's an interesting question. They are ready to see their kids. They're excited to meet their students for this year. I'm not sure right now how they're feeling about being ready in the sense of having everything they need to do virtual learning, just based on the 2 days of professional development we've received recently.
So tell us then about your concerns.
Well, normally we have a week long of professional development prior to the start of the school year. It's usually optional on top of the days that the district provides us that are mandatory. And they only at the last minute offered us 2 days of optional PD instead of a full week. And just yesterday introduced us to a brand new learning platform that they bought that they are wanting us to use this year. And the concerns I've been hearing from the teachers in the last 2 days are that we are being trained on things that we don't even have access to yet. So it's very concerning. But going back to your original question, are the teachers ready? As always, the teachers are going to do what they need to do to give the best instruction to the kids, but I don't feel that our teachers have been provided everything that they need.
I know there was an agreement reached with the district recently, but it sounds like things still aren't completely worked out.
No, there's a lot of stuff still being done at the last minute. And to be fair, there are still a lot of things changing from the state and from the county that's causing the district to have to do a few things last minute. But for example, the learning platform that we were trained on yesterday, they've known for quite a while that was coming. And so it was very last minute yesterday, and we, a whole bunch of teachers yesterday didn't even have access to it. So it's just concerning. We'll get there in terms of what we need. But right now, I think the teachers are going to be depending a lot on what they already know and what they spent their summer doing. Because I'm sure you've heard this in the other districts as well, is that teachers everywhere have spent their summers preparing for distance learning, attending free webinars offered by CTA and NEA, any training they can get their hands on. So they have attended trainings on their own to make sure that they are prepared. But I think that what we are being offered by the district is not adequate for what we need right now.
I'm curious, how does Coachella Valley USD compare to Desert Sands or Palm Springs USD?
I've never worked in either one of those, and so I can't honestly say how they compare. I just know in terms of professional development, my belief is that Palm Springs and Desert Sands both provided additional training above and beyond what they normally provide this year, whereas ours was less than half of what we normally provide.
And what would you like to say to the district, assuming that they're watching this interview?
Just, that not to hold teachers to the expectations as if they've been properly trained and are ready to go on Friday with the kids, to allow some grace for time to learn new platforms that have just been thrown at us yesterday. And just to continue working with us to make sure that we do get what we need eventually so that our students have the best experience they can.
Are most teachers going to be teaching from inside their classrooms, or do you expect a lot of them to be at home?
I honestly don't have a number for that, but I would say it's probably about half and half. About half of our teachers that I've heard from are interested in being in their classrooms, and about half of them probably at home.
And that was a sticking point with the district as well.
Yes, it was.
And
Yeah.
so now they have the choice.
Yes, now they have the choice, and it's not limited. I've heard in other districts where they are limited to, if you choose to work from home, you have to work from home forever while you're in distance learning, and you can't change to your classroom, whereas we have the option to go back and forth as needed.
How will teachers hold students accountable and measure engagement?
We're actually still working on that. I was working with our CWA director last night on some of that, how we will be holding them accountable. They're taking attendance this time, which we did not do in the spring. That was not mandatory. So it is mandatory for students to attend. So we will be taking attendance and then following typical procedures if a student is not present, contacting the family and so on. And then engagement will be looking at whether they're participating in synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. So, for example, one situation that we've kind of explored is, you might have a student who doesn't log on in the morning for your Zoom session, and that may be because his parents went to work and had to place him in a childcare situation and he can't access your class for the day. But that night he logs on and does all of the work. So he's engaged, he's just not engaged in both the synchronous and the asynchronous. So we have to look at all of those options because we wouldn't want to count that student as being disengaged when he is eventually logging on his schedule that he's allowed to do. So we're having to look at a lot of different scenarios of what engagement looks like. And it doesn't mean just showing up to the Zoom classroom or just completing the assignments.
Is there anything that you want parents and students to know before the first day of school begins?
Just that our teachers are really, really excited to get started with them. They're all looking forward to meeting the kids and providing them great lessons. And we are focusing a lot on the social emotional needs of our students this year because we need that right now. They're isolated and there may be needs that we don't normally have to deal with in a classroom. And so we are prepared to meet those kids and engage with them. And we look forward to participation. We understand it's going to be hard for a lot of parents because they are working and they may or may not have childcare. So we do understand that, and our teachers will work, like I said earlier about the district providing grace to us for learning these new things, we will offer that to our parents and families as well.
All right, Carissa, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.